Hey, it's MK, and I am here with another Kit Conspiracy layout, and I'm combining this with another layout or a sketch that I missed during Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches. And this sketch here is by Judith Garcia. So I am going to try to recreate this sketch, but I'm going to stretch it across a 2-page layout. So I'm going to try my hardest to see if I can make that happen. So I pulled out this ribbon that I think I got at Joann. Don't quote me on that. I could have got it at my local Walmart. Who knows? But I'm going to try to use that ribbon. I have a hard time using the ribbon, but I really like the ribbon. I'm also going to be using my brushed corduroy along with my blender brush to change the color-ish of a certain cardstock. I have my chipboard pieces from the 49 and Market Wherever collection, along with a couple rub-ons that I chose to use for this specific layout. And then I picked out a couple die cut pieces as well as enamel dots, or wishing bubbles is what 49 and Market likes to call it, and another title that is a chipboard. Oh, found one more rub-on to work with. I have, I want to say 5 photos to play with. Now, for this entire week, I think I have all double page layouts for this entire collection. So I do end up bringing a lot of my own cardstock, even though this particular layout, you don't get to see the cardstock in the background. So I picked out the printed earth paper because I thought it would be the best paper to let my photos really shine, especially with the blue lake in the background and all that blue coming through. So I wanted to pick out a really muted paper. I also brought in this burlap paper that is not from the collection, just from my stash, from a paper stack from Die Cuts with a View. Whoa, that was an old word to say. Now this here is the paper that I plan on altering with my brushed corduroy ink. It is a super old, close to my heart paper in juniper. Back in the day, they used to have special sets where you got them embossed on top, and you could change the color underneath, but then under the embossed part, it would still stay the same. So I'm going to try to see if I can't make that work for what I want to do, because it's a little too bright of a green for me, and I wanted to darken it up, but I didn't want to take away from the green, if that makes any sense. So I went ahead and I trimmed out my photos. I cut down my paper, and to save a couple time and a few words with a voiceover, I decided to cut out all of the cutting process, because it's just me cutting squares, right? Or rectangles. So for this, I have to brush it on and then rub it off of the embossed area, so that way you can really see the color shine through. And then, of course, I wanted to see, is it worth it? Am I going to be able to see it? And there's the difference. So I do see it. I do like it. I'm going to do that to every single mat that I created for my photos. Now, for these papers here, I really do like that word paper on the background, but I don't think it's going to work for this. I think it would have been too wordy, and it would have taken away from my photos. So I definitely stuck with the muted color for my paper. Now, I don't have a ruler long enough. Actually, I think I do. I'm just too lazy to get off my chair and go get it. But I am going to use my other piece of paper to help me line up where my diagonal goes from corner to corner. I also don't have a trimmer that will cut that corner to corner piece. I don't have one long enough. So I am using an X-Acto knife, and it is not exact like in the name of the X-Acto knife. Not for me anyways. So I do have to trim it. Plus, again, 49 and Market cardstock, man, there is nothing like it. And it is most definitely super thick. So it took a couple swipes going across, and I'm pretty happy with how it looks. Now, this, on the other hand, this burlap paper does have a paper backing to it. So I'm very grateful for that. It makes it easy to apply to your layouts. It definitely makes it easy to work with. And if you want to cut with a Cricut, you flip it over and cut on the paper side, just to let you guys know. Now, you can't do intricate cuts with it, but very blocky, very solid cuts cut really well with the Cricut, which is one of the things Die Cuts with a View was really known for, was making products that cut in a cutting machine really well. Like non-glittery glitter paper, right? Does that make sense? No. but it also did the burlap paper as well as cork paper with a paper backing, so you could cut these shapes in your Cricut, anyways, or in your any kind of electronic die cutting machine type of thing. Okay, so here I am. I'm going to set up my papers. Like I said, you don't even get to see the 2 pieces of cardstock that I used to hold my papers with. Granted, I did add a lot to my kit in order to make these 2 pages. I definitely needed that burlap paper, but I really wanted the burlap paper because it definitely reminded me of the dirt and the sand and the rocks that we were walking on doing the metal detecting. And that's what my kids, that's what their grandpa is showing them how to do, is it's showing them how to work the metal detector. I thought that I finished these series of photos back in the last kit conspiracy, but I found this other set where grandpa is actually showing them, and then I have pictures of them doing it on their own. And I was like, oh, I forgot about these pictures. Well, they need their own layout too, because this is special to them. Gabe hasn't ran a metal detector since, I want to say, 2012 or 13. So it's been a few years since he has had the opportunity to, work a metal detector. And since then, I found my old metal detector and replaced the batteries in it. And so every now and then the kids will take it across the street to the pond and see what people have left in the sand over there. So it's super fun. All right, just deciding how I want my lace to work on. Do I want it to go on top of the burlap, or do I want it to overflow into the pattern paper? And because it has burlap of its own in the middle of the lace, I decided that I wanted it to overflow into the pattern paper. And then it looks like it's an extension of the burlap, which I thought was pretty cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and put my layouts together, and then I'm using tear and tape to use to put my ribbon down. Plus, it keeps it straight and uncurls it in a way, so I don't have to worry about that curl keeping on there. That's one of the things I don't like about lace, is it holds its curl super well. And I don't think it's from the spool. I think it would be curly even if it wasn't on a spool, and I don't know why that is, but I'm sure somebody here does. So anyways, off screen, I went ahead and attached my lace, and I did have it go all the way into the next layout. So I do have a teeny tiny little corner. And the best part about the tear and tape is it is a very strong adhesive. So when I cut the burlap and the lace, using the tear and tape attached to it, it did not fall apart or crumble or fray at the edges. So I was able to easily put it on the other side of the paper, even though I was just attaching that one teeny tiny little bit. Okay, so I got myself all turned around and lost direction, so I had to double check with the sketch which way I was supposed to go, because it didn't look right. So I'm glad that I did, because I do like this angle a lot more than I like it angling up to the left. I don't know why. Probably because of the angle of the lake, and now it's going opposite of that. I didn't want it to go with the lake. I wanted it to go opposite of the lake. So anywho, back to where I was going, and I apologize. I'm getting over this cold. I'm really, really hoping that tomorrow's the last day, because I can feel it. I really can. Okay, so in the sketch, she has the title on the diagonal, and I didn't really leave enough room. If I was going to do that, I should have brought my photos down a little bit more. But again, to keep my photo onto the burlap, I attached my photos down with the tear and tape, so they're really attached down. There's not much else I can do except lift a corner up here and there without ruining my whole layout. So I can't put my title on the diagonal. I'll have to find another spot for my title, and I think it's going to be down below in the negative space of my 2 vertical photos over on the left. So I'll build a huge cluster. So for right now, I'm going to see if I can put these rub-ons on my burlap. I just really want to test it out and see if it works. And oh, surprise, it does. I'm super stoked. Now, I don't really like how it looks like it's painted on. It almost looks like a coat of paint on the burlap. I'm not really super excited about that one, but in the end, I do end up liking how it looks, and I'm really glad that I at least tried to see if it did. Now, I did also take my burnishing tool to see if I can't rub it into the cracks of the burlap. And all I really was doing was rubbing it off. So I opted not to do that on any of the other rub-ons. I just decided, nope, I'm fine with them looking like they're painted on. I think it's still a cool effect on the burlap. I really do like it. And it gives a little bit of an extension to all of the clusters that I'm going to have. So I'm going to have a cluster over in the upper, well, not really upper, in the central left page, and then in the central right page. And then my title card is, my title piece is really going to extend over into the right, even though that right side cluster down at the bottom looks like its own cluster. It really, if you look at it as a whole, it kind of spills into the right page. My title cluster kind of does that spillage. If you know, kind of, I don't know. Like I said, I make stuff up as I go along, and maybe that's just my own brain thinking. All right, pulling out my favoriteest twine in the whole wide world, you guys. I love this twine. It works for every layout I want to do, whether it's a feminine page, an outdoor page, I mean, a masculine page, it doesn't matter. This stuff works for everything. And I'm not sure if I ever told you guys where I get it from, but I do get it from Stampin' Up. It's called linen thread is what it's called. It's very affordable, and you get a whole spool and it will last you forever. It really will. So don't go buy any, because if it runs out, I'm going to be super sad. Okay, just saying. But if you guys need some, go buy some. I'm just saying. I'm not enabling you at all, but it's super affordable. Look at that spool. And I've probably used a ton of this, but you still get a ton on one little spool. I love this stuff. I love how it curls all on its own. I just love how flexible it is. Sometimes it lays flat. I mean, it's just great thread to have on hand and works in almost every layout. It's just, I love universal stuff like that. All right, so I am hanging these little charms with my favoriteest twine in the whole wide world. That's my name for it. The official name is linen thread, in case you guys are curious. And I just wrapped it twice around my frame to give it a little bit of, something, because I felt like my frames were a little bit too see-through. I felt like there was too much gappage for my frames, and I didn't really have a whole lot of stuff, to put in the frame and around the frame and all that stuff, which is fine, because I didn't want to over embellish these pages. I really wanted the viewer, of whoever's going to be looking in the page, to really look at the photos and what's going on. And the first two photos on the left are Grandpa showing the kids how it works. And then the last three over on the right are my kids actually running the metal detector all by themselves. And of course, not coming up with anything because they go too fast. Just saying, they don't have the patience to go nice and slow and sweep the ground. They just go really super fast, and then they're like, nah, we'll let Grandpa do it. So anyways, for my enamel dots, I decided to go with the hearts on this one, because I felt like the little teeny tiny dots were going to get lost on the burlap. And so I went with the hearts, and I just chose a couple from all the different colors. And that is going to finish off my page. I also used the 3 cameras that look alike, so that way I have continuity within all of my clusters, as well as the frames and everything. So I really like using the same stuff throughout. I've got the 2 little charms hanging down, which are just die cut charms, but then I brought a third part of the twine in, or the thread I should say, because my tag needed something in its tag hole, right? So anyways, that is my layout for today. I had a blast making this layout. Judith, I really did enjoy creating with your layout. I am sorry that I did not get to create with it during 30 days of sketches, but I am glad to be going back to the sketches and being able to finish them out, even though it is a little month later. I do still enjoy playing along with the sketches. All right, you guys, don't forget to check out all the links that I have down below. I've got a couple links for Christy's Beautiful Life, because that is represented in this video. And then I also have a link for Kit Conspiracy in our Facebook group over there. And don't forget to check out Janet Fritz's channel here on YouTube, which is Galaxy Girl Creations, because she is my cohort in Kit Conspiracy, and her layouts are always fabulous to go check out. All right, you guys, again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll check y'all later. Bye.